This episode, I'm with Sue B. Zimmerman, the GOAT of Instagram engagement.
Other things people are doing wrong is they're using the wrong hashtags. They're just trying to gamify and use the popular ones and crash tag a hashtag just to get recognition, but it's not where your target audience is or who you want to be serving is. You need to post as if you're talking exactly to the one person that you are meant to be doing business with. You should not be on every single social platform. You should be on the ones that serve you and where your audience is, and you should go all in if you're going to do it. Not
so whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube.
Yeah, I'm on Instagram fully present to my audience. And by the way, my Instagram direct messages blow up every day. Okay. So what do? You talk to the people that care about the content that you share.
Everyone wants to be great, but only few actually get there. And I'm on a mission to find out what all the greatest have in common. I've traveled tirelessly to find, sit down, and talk with GOATs, people that are arguably the greatest of all time at what they do. Sales, marketing, advertising, business, podcasts, branding, you name it. The way they do things may be different, but they all seem to see the world the same way. To them, success is not only achievable, but inevitable. And we'll get inside their heads as they share their expertise with me each week. My name's Mike Arce, and this is The GOAT Show. This episode is sponsored by Agency G.O.A.T. Starting a digital agency was definitely one of the best decisions I've ever made. Building it, however, was a lot more challenging than expected. I always wish someone just gave me a roadmap that I could follow and let me be a fly on the wall at a successful agency so I could just see how it's all done. Agency G.O.A.T allows you to do just that. Stop playing small and visit agencyGSD.com to learn how to help hundreds of clients get it to 7 figures and be extremely profitable along the way. Again, go to agencyGSD.com. And I also have to share my experience with ClickFunnels. If you've been living under a rock and haven't heard of them, they're hands down the #1 platform for building landing pages and marketing funnels. I've been using them since 2015, and it's so crazy how easily my team and I create landing pages using their proven templates and easy drag and drop system. Without any design or coding experience whatsoever, we've been able to create hundreds of landing pages within minutes that look great and close sales better than anything we've used in the past. They're great for webinar funnels, sales funnels, demos, squeeze pages, you name it. I can't even imagine my business doing as well without them. And actually right now, they're offering a free 14-day trial if you go to clickfunnelspromo.com. So I definitely recommend you guys take advantage of that 14-day trial. It's free for 14 days and you can get it at clickfunnelspromo.com. Hello everybody, I'm Mike Arce and welcome back to another episode of The GOAT Show where we interview people that are arguably the greatest of all time at what they do. And today, I am here with the GOAT of Instagram, Sue Zimmerman. Welcome to the show.
Oh, is there a fancy handshake that we get to do?
You know, let's see if we can do something fancier than that. Ready? Because we're from back east. All right.
It's all good.
So Sue, I am so excited to have you on the show. I heard about you first about a year and a half ago, and you had like a PDF out there on like how to use Instagram, and it was like tips on hashtags and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, she's the first one I see really giving a ton of free content on Instagram.
Okay, cool.
I haven't really seen a lot of it, like structured in guides and all that.
Yeah.
And then just kind of followed you along the way. And then I started realizing that a lot of the GOATs I've interviewed know who you are. And you know who they are, and you're speaking at Traffic Conversion.
Yeah.
And I want to start off with the Instagram situation. So right now, what was it about Instagram that made you kind of double down and triple down on that versus being like the Snapchat or the Twitter? Not to say you don't play there, but...
Yeah, so Instagram for me happened very organically, like everything in my life tends to. So I have been a lifelong entrepreneur, and I had a store, a physical location on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And I sold jewelry, clothing, and accessories. And I have 3 daughters. And at the time, I was on vacation with my teenage twins. And they were literally on their phone when I was talking to them, scrolling, not looking at me, not holding it, talking, but scrolling. And it was that scrolling motion that got my attention because at the time I was teaching social media when I didn't have my store. It was a seasonal store. And I wasn't on Instagram. And they looked at me and they said, Mom, we're on Instagram. Don't get on it because then you're going to start teaching it. And that's all I needed to hear. Because honestly, the younger generation and the teenagers set the mobile trends for the future.
Of course.
Instagram, I started using it in my store on the Cape, and then people came physically into the door. And so by strategically using it, having a plan with my employees, the girls that worked for me, and my sales increased tremendously in one summer. Like crazy, more than being on Foursquare and Facebook and Twitter and everywhere else that I was promoting, and Pinterest and all of that. And so that was a light bulb moment. I realized that I had something I wanted to teach because I love teaching more than anything. And I went to a conference in California, Brendan Bouchard, I'm sure most of you know who he is. And I sat in that room not knowing anything about online marketing, online selling, affiliate marketing, and putting yourself out into the world. But I left after 4 days knowing that I wanted to teach Instagram because no one at the conference knew how to use it. Everyone was pulling me aside during break and saying, like, why should I geotag him? What's the hashtag? And I'm like, no, you don't put your coaster with the bear on Instagram. You use locations. So I just knew I had something. I sensed it. And then I started putting myself out there, teaching it on, I got my first exposure on a podcast, which was Michael Stelzner's.
Okay.
And so I got his attention. He interviewed me. He's like, holy shit, he doesn't swear, but I do. And he's like, okay, I love your energy. I love what you're saying, what you're teaching. I want to get you on stage at Social Media Marketing World.
Okay.
So 5 years ago, I was on stage at Social Media Marketing World, and everything just moved forward from that point.
When you were a kid, only child? Or?
Yeah, no, 2 siblings.
2 siblings, older, younger?
I'm in the middle.
You're in the middle. Okay. All right. So you're in the middle. So you had to fight for attention as it was.
I always got attention.
Well, because you knew how to get it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
but usually the middle child, that's the theory, right? Is that the older child's got all the stuff first and the baby. Like, we got to.
Right.
So you got to fight for it. So now you always got your attention. So let's talk about when you first started entrepreneurism or your first business.
So I got the attention because my dad hustled hard owning an automobile parts store in Lawrence, Massachusetts. And I wanted his attention because he worked all the time. And so in order to get his attention, I physically woke up early on a Saturday morning and worked with him. And I filed distributors and mufflers and I swept the floor.
How old were you?
I was like 10.
Okay.
9 or 10. It's like, I want to be with dad. I never see dad. I want to be with dad. And so I would go, and there is where I learned so much, not knowing it subconsciously, about entrepreneurship. And the biggest lesson I learned is that my dad knew everyone's name when they walked in, because everyone's favorite word is their name, right? And so he intimately knew his customers. He engaged with them. He had relationships with them. So all these things that I do today were like the seed was planted simply from observing and being in that environment with my dad.
Let's talk about when you got into the online game where you're like, man, digital products, I can get into this.
So after listening to Brendan, he's like, okay, you can become a speaker, an author, you can you can do a CD, you can have an audio CD, you can do courses. Like I took notes about all the things and I did all the things, and that was not what I recommend. But I did all the things because I wanted to try all the things to see which one was going to be best for me in my business. And I love learning new things. I mean, that's part of being an entrepreneur. And I learned that creating online courses, which by the way is a lot of work, and doing it in a way that I don't just sell it and collect the money and say thank you, now I'm off on vacation. I wanted that experience to be so different than what a lot of people were saying about online courses, because I think there's this real misconception with a lot of the general public where they buy something but they don't get delivered what the promise of that course or program was. So I didn't want people to fail or to feel like I abandoned them after I sold it. So I like to surprise and delight whenever I sell to anybody. And so I show up after the sale in my Facebook groups, doing more to teach more and more. So I love doing online courses, but as you know, Instagram is constantly updating.
Which is, it could be a pro. Because I'm
constantly teaching something new, but I also have to go back and redo the course. So every year I'm committed to that. I also know that the riches are in the niches, and I chose Instagram. I am a visual thinker. I process more content from photos and pictures than words. My brain thinks that way. I'm wired. And 8 years ago, I was on stage at QVC teaching scrapbookers how to embellish their real photos using double-sided tape and embellishments. So it's kind of ironic that I'm doing it now with Instagram.
Right.
So there's this kind of transformation of where I am in teaching, but it goes back to visual storytelling. It goes back to being authentic and being aware, having the self-awareness of knowing what you enjoy. And I mean, because of Instagram, I have this ability to teach in a niche market. Okay. And that's where I think a lot of people struggle, is they don't go deep enough in the niche. Not only do I teach Instagram, but I know exactly who my demographic is that I'm serving.
Awesome. So now everyone watching, they go, okay, I came on here because I wanted to learn from this queen of Instagram here.
Where's my crown?
And you talk, I know, we should have got a crown. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to dive into, number one, why do you think so many people can't get traction on Instagram? What are the most common mistakes?
Yeah. So here's the truth. There are now almost 1 billion monthly active users. And when I first started teaching it, there was 140 million. So less people, more attention. And I think that people think as soon as they go on Instagram that they can become Instagram famous by, using tactics that are just not organic. And I'm all about organic growth and organic reach. And for me, it's a conversation. It's one conversation. It's not getting thousands of likes, which, by the way, you can use people in India and China to like your photos. And there's bots that do things that make you look Insta famous. And, there's the algorithm now that's challenging. And so I'm constantly on my business account, the Instagram Expert, teaching. And I have people who read my post, people are liking photos less and less because they're spending more time in the stories. We can talk about that in a minute if you want. But I know that when I teach, I give value. When I give value, people listen and take action. And I can give a call to action. I can get people to swipe up, to go to my blog, to read my blog.
Well, now you can swipe up because you have
10,000 followers. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And so are you verified as well?
No, I'm not verified.
So I want to talk about the verification process, how important that is. I also want to talk about the swiping up. Obviously, I do believe that's important because that gives you such an awesome call to action and a way to get somebody to your content to learn more about the story.
Yeah, but let's talk about a couple of things that people are doing wrong first.
Got it.
Because I think this will help everybody. So, for starters, you don't have a professional looking avatar where you've actually invested in showing up as the person behind the brand. People don't like doing businesses with logos. So if you're leading with a logo and you're not Starbucks or you're not a logo that has a lot of brand awareness, people want to see a smiling face. Number two, the bio is not set up for SEO. There's aspects in a bio that you can use keywords for search on Instagram. And you have 150 characters. And when you write your bio, it should be playful and fun and business-like, but also quirky and how you stand out from everyone else that does what you do.
Give me an example.
So for me, I wrote kick-ass rollerblader. Like, I roller skate. So on my Instagram account, I'm telling you, I teach you daily tactical tips and strategies every day, but I'm also a kick-ass rollerblader. So it's like, cool, Sue rollerblades.
They get to know something about your back.
Like something about
me,
the person behind the Instagram Expert.
Okay.
And so even the name of my business account, I named it the Instagram Expert because Instagram Expert was taken. This was 5 years ago. And I didn't want to be all pretentious like I'm the expert, because 5 years ago I wasn't the expert. I just took the handle. And I show up as the educator. I like to be the leading educator teaching Instagram marketing tactics for business. Other things people are doing wrong is they're using the wrong hashtags. They're just trying to gamify and use the popular ones and crash tag a hashtag just to get recognition, but it's not where your target audience is or who you want to be serving is. You need to show up and post as if you're talking exactly to the one person that you are meant to be doing business with. And from the photo, the quality of the photo, to the description, to the hashtags, to the call to action, everything needs to be done in a way that is consistently branded in your voice, using emojis that you might use or spacing in the description that might be different.
Okay,
right?
so quick question.
Yeah.
Let's say you and I took a picture right now.
You can do that.
We can do that. So we took that picture and now we posted on Instagram.
Yeah.
What would you say would be a good caption for that? Also good hashtags.
Yeah, so the best photos on Instagram are not ones when we're smiling right at the camera.
So maybe like this?
They're more like this. You want people to feel like they're experiencing what you're experiencing.
Got it.
You
Okay.
want people to feel like they're missing out on this conversation. And so often it's not the photos looking and smiling at the camera. I don't care that you're with someone famous. Like, good for you. Have fun. I want to know what the conversation was or what went on behind the scenes that was like a blooper or something that you guys didn't even hear.
Got it.
Or
Okay.
something that emotionally pulls people in. That's
Perfect.
That Instagram is a storytelling app where you can emotionally connect with people that you want to serve if you do it correctly.
Perfect. Okay, so we do this.
Yes.
Okay, so now,
Yeah.
for everybody listening and not watching, you may want to watch this one as well so you can see what the heck we're doing here. And she's got some cool props up,
Oh yeah,
too.
we can even do this.
She's got props up. We actually made this for her. Check this out. This is pretty cool.
This is pretty awesome.
Pretty nice, huh? So those of you guys listening, it's a canvas we made. It looks like an Instagram post.
Wait, my favorite part of this, you guys, is that if you follow me, tap the 3 dots on the top right and turn on notifications so that you get notified when I post.
Yeah, you want to make that happen, guys. So you can see what she's doing and why she's doing it. Okay, so
But that's my personal account. My business account is the Instagram expert.
Instagram expert, yeah.
So this is where I share the life of a successful business owner, and the Instagram expert is where I share the business tips and strategies.
Got it. Okay,
Right.
cool.
Okay.
So different content in each
Oh
one.
yeah, totally different content.
Okay, so we take our picture, boom. And now that we took our picture, what would you say would be like an example of a good caption and then example of good hashtags for something like
Yeah,
that?
so you want to hear, if you want to hear, Sue dropped it, we talked about a ton of value bombs on this interview, and I have so many, I'm going to list 5 of them here, but if you want to get the other 3, the link in my bio takes you to the whole
So
interview.
you give them a piece.
You give them value. You give them the 3. You don't make them go off Instagram. No one wants to go off Instagram unless they're going to get something of value. So you tease them with what is in it, and you say, but the real big takeaway from this interview is said on my blog, is said on my podcast, so that they want to swipe up. They want to go to the link in your bio. They want to learn the golden ninja tip, right?
So we give them 5 of the tips that you share.
Yeah.
We tell them to get the other 3. And now for hashtags, would you use any?
Yeah, so hashtags, there's all different strategies around hashtags. So you have your own unique hashtags within your business. I have my unique hashtags, but we're here in hashtag San Diego at the Marriott. So, we can get the attention of people in San Diego. We can get the attention at Traffic and Conversion, because that's the conference we're at, and the hashtag is TCS 2018.
Right.
So you can absolutely use that hashtag because we're physically here and part of the experience that people are experiencing. You can use hashtags that would help people with Instagram, hashtag Instagram tips, hashtag Instagram strategies, hashtag Instagram speaker, hashtag Subi Zimmerman. There's a lot of hashtag Subi stories. There's a lot of hashtags that are niche.
What's an example of a bad hashtag you see people overusing?
Follow for follow, like for like.
Okay, got it. So that's...
Because that attracts everyone in the whole world that just wants a follower.
Got
I
it.
don't want random 13-year-olds following me.
Yeah.
And I have them all day long, okay?
Right.
And you can block them, but I don't have the time for that. So I have people following me from all different countries that don't even speak English, and they're following me. But if I I think one of the things that I probably should be doing is blocking people who are not my avatar. Because if I were to block them, they wouldn't show up as a follower, and my engagement rate would be greater with the people that I know are my avatar.
Now, does that play a role in the algorithm, or how does the algorithm work on Instagram in order to rank higher?
Okay, great question. So in order to get seen in the top 9 of either a hashtag hub, an Instagram story hashtag, or a geolocation, you can show up. It's based on how quickly you got engagement. So I am frequently, if you go to Social Media Marketing World, like Social Media Marketing World 2015, 16, and 17, I'm still at the top 9 of all of those hashtags that happened years ago, because I got the most double taps, likes, saves, or comments the fastest.
Okay.
So it's not how many likes you get, because people buy likes.
So it's activity and time.
It's real double taps from real people that are not bots. It's real comments. It's not just an emoji or nice pic, check out my bio, when it's actually a video. It's like, screw you, that's like, you're like a bot.
Right,
like,
we should
go
do
away.
business, DM me.
Yeah, exactly. Looks like you need some help with your marketing, DM me. I'm like, do you know who I am? Like, I always like, I'm snarky. Like, when I get those, I use them for sharing. But yeah, so it's really paying attention to all of that.
Okay, cool. So how important do you think the algorithm is in regards to like what to pay attention to? Do you think that's something that people should really focus on?
So I think to kind of work with the algorithm, you should be doing all 3, I like to say, layers of Instagram. So now we've got the feed, the curated feed that is, for the most part, beautiful and feels, I like to call it a digital magazine. So it looks and feels like a magazine. So when you buy a magazine, Success Magazine, all the articles that they say is going to be in there, you buy it based on what you expect to read. Just like when you follow an account based on what they say in the bio, you expect to see that content based on the promise that they made in the bio. So the cover, so I call it a digital magazine. Stories, OMG, it's like having your own broadcasting TV channel every day. So I show up in my stories every day for the most part.
Okay.
I am taking one day off because my husband's like, can you just not do it today? So you gotta like, you know, you have a family. It's like, it's true. Like when you're out there, you're out there. So anyway, I have a story every day. I have thousands of people that watch every story. I used to be on Snapchat, and I had 500 people that watched every clip. I don't have time for Snapchat.
Yeah,
I'm in Instagram. I'm done with Snapchat. So now that Instagram has filters and text and styles and OMG animated GIFs, like I'm in heaven. It's like back to scrapbooking on Instagram.
Right.
So now I think Instagram likes when you use all their features. The highlight reel that you can now create.
Do you use that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything I want to save after it's gone away in my story is in my highlights.
Okay.
So the swipe up feature still works in the highlights. So I get a lot more opt-ins to my blogs and to everything that I'm sharing. Also, Instagram Live. So going live on Instagram is like going live what used to be on Periscope. And so now I'm talking to the world. In comes Berlin, in comes Australia, 30 seconds in. I'm talking to people that don't even know me. They never met me. Maybe they like my Boston accent. Maybe they don't. You know, and they get to know me. I can do a call to action live. You know, if you're on my live broadcast, double tap my last photo and let me know what your biggest takeaway was. So I'm bringing engagement down to the feed from stories and live. Right. So they all work together. But what everyone needs to know is that you should not be on every single social platform. You should be on the ones that serve you and where your audience is, and you should go all in if you're going to do it. Not
so whether it's
halfway
Facebook or Instagram or YouTube. Yeah,
I mean, absolutely Facebook, bar none, number one, bar none. But if you're going to be on Pinterest and LinkedIn and Twitter and like I'm on Twitter, I have 23,000 followers, but I don't have a big strategy there except to share my content and to engage. But I'm not doing all the awesome ads and video, and I'm not doing everything there. I'm on Instagram fully present to my audience. And by the way, my Instagram direct messages blow up every day. Right. So what do? You talk to the people that care about the content that you share.
Do you promote your posts?
Yes, so we promote, post, and run ads during campaigns. So right now I'm actually a Marie Forleo B-School affiliate partner, and we've been doing a lot of ads, and we've been promoting our webinar and promoting the training videos. And whenever my posts look promotional, meaning there's text on it, that's when we are in the ads.
Okay.
The other place that we promote posts that I think your audience will like, and this is what I'm talking about on stage at Traffic and Conversion, is to us, the gold is in our content, our free content. So every time we release a new blog, it shows up on Instagram as an animated GIF. We drive traffic to the link in my bio, which is a custom bit.ly link driving traffic.
Animated GIF. So tell me what that might look like.
Okay, an animated GIF is movement on, it's a video. It shows up as a video on Instagram. Video views get much more views than a stagnant post. So an animated GIF, so we have a graphic designer who makes animated GIFs for us. It's a 4-second movement of what the blog post is about. So I've conditioned my audience, when they see that, they know it's a new blog post. They click the link in my bio. They want to read it. It's free content. They go over to my website. We always drive traffic to my website where I have a blog and my YouTube video embedded in the blog where I teach. And so we can then pixel that and target Facebook ads based on traffic to the blog. So the strategy for me is not to sell on Instagram. It is to have conversations and to build that
and
trust.
Drive people.
And drive people to my website so they sign in for my, they opt into my Instagram strategy guide. I nurture them over time so that when I do sell something, they're ready to buy. It's not selling. It's nurturing.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So do you ever run ads from the Facebook platform to Instagram, or do you always just hit the promote button?
Oh no, it's often through Facebook.
So you actually go into the ads manager.
We boost a post occasionally. You can do it right from Insights, and you can go in. Morgan on my team is a Facebook, Instagram ad ninja. In fact, she's speaking on stage at Creative Live with me, talking all about Instagram ads. Yeah, that's not my jam. Like I said, I mean, that requires so much detail and so much time to pay attention to so much in Facebook ads. I don't have the patience for that.
Do you ever run ads into stories?
We do. We just did some.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does that work for you?
It was good. We had a lot of conversions to our website signups.
Really?
Yeah. So we just started doing that.
Okay.
So you can do ads in stories. So that's a very good question. And so my ad and my story went like this, because you only have 15 seconds. So I did some, for my bonus for B-School, I did like Boston Business Retreat, brand new Instagram primer, VIP Facebook group, and study calls with Sue B. That's all part of my bonus package. Swipe up. Like, I had to say it really fast, 15 seconds. But I was walking in my apartment, so you felt like you were with me, and it wasn't like, buy this, do that. It was organic to the stories. That's what people don't do, is they don't do what's organic. Things are too polished, too perfect. People want real. With Marie Forleo's B-School launch, our biggest launch of the year, we wanted to do something that no one else did. And she's on podcast interviews, she's on video. I asked her team if we could do Instagram stories interviews. So I gave her 5 questions in an email, and her team said, Marie's got the bandwidth, she's gonna answer these, and I gave the instruction. I said, shoot it vertically, not horizontally, for stories. And Marie just riffed the answers of her questions, and they sent me back the Dropbox link.
Got it.
And so I then, if you look at my highlights on the Instagram Expert and tap in to Q&A with Marie Forleo, all your listeners can understand exactly what I did. I did Q1 to Marie. She did the answer back. There's an app called Continual that you can link up, where people can buy it so that if it's a video more than 15 seconds, it continually plays it.
It'll break them all up.
It doesn't have a breakup. It makes it sound like it's one streaming video.
Right. I wondered how people have been doing that.
So I have that.
Because Snapchat automatically does that.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So this was awesome. And so it felt like Marie and I were sitting like this on my Instagram story. So I'm just sharing that with you as like, I'm always about how can I be different from everyone else, not let me do what that person did because they're so successful.
Right. Okay.
Like, that's how I think.
Sounds good. Okay. And what about ads? Should you run ads in order to build up your following? Does that help?
So I think for someone like you with 3,000, if you're really good with Facebook ads and you know how to target on Facebook, and if you don't, Billie Jean can help you with that, then you're okay as long as you know how to target.
Okay.
I'm all about split testing and trial and error. and seeing what's working and what's not. You don't know until you try, right?
Right. Okay. Before we started filming, you said to me, I've got everything I want. I'm good. I've had a lot of successes, very few failures. I'm good. What drives you to keep
that's
doing
such a
more?
good question. Yeah, so I love mentoring the younger generation. I feel like I have twins in their 20s. I have a 25-year-old and twins that just turned 22. And I feel like when the younger generation is doing what they love and not feeling like they're going to work and they can't wait for the weekend to party and, I got to just have a beer. I don't even think like that. The weekend's the weekend. I don't do I like to chill and take it slow? Of course. But I don't feel, if you're truly doing what you love, you don't feel like you're working. And that's essentially been the life that I've had. Have I had failures? Absolutely. Struggles? Absolutely, within my businesses. But I always look at them as learning experiences to move forward and not to say, poor Sue, like her accountant just stole all her money. But I do what I do because I love showing, when you're midlife and you start to think about the legacy that you're leaving behind and the impact that you make in the world. Like, what do I want that to look like and feel like? And I want it to feel good. I want people to know that you don't have to take yourself so seriously, that haters are going to hate and you can block them and remove them from your life. And when you lead with heart and hustle, the hustle that makes your heart sing, the hustle that brings you the joy, the new relationships that you can make an impact on, that's like why I do it. It's not to have something else that I don't have. And I'm lucky for that. I don't want to call it lucky. I'm fortunate. I'm very fortunate for that. But that's why I do it. I just love helping other people make money.
So 10 years from now, we sit down, we interview you again.
Yeah.
What are you going to say you've done in the last 10 years?
Probably have grandchildren.
Well, that you didn't really do
That'll
anything.
Be good.
That somebody else did something.
Take them to art class. Teach them how to be little entrepreneurs. I don't know, you guys. I mean, I feel like Instagram's not going away. I feel like I can speak on stages more as a keynote of kind of life lessons as an entrepreneur. And, everyone says, like, follow your purpose, follow your passion. Like, there's all these trite little sayings that people, just put out there. And I'm all about when you show up 100% authentically as you, without giving a shit what anyone thinks about you, but just like comfortable in your skin that you're in, and leading with integrity and celebrating the relationships in the community. I mean, the community for me is gold. My community is my gold. It's pretty awesome. It's pretty sweet. It's impactful. Yeah.
You've done a lot of really great things, and you've dropped a lot of really great information about Instagram, which is what people came here to see. If somebody wanted to learn more from you on this stuff or anything, where would they go?
So my website has two things I want to bring to people's attention. One is my Instagram strategy guide that you should totally download. It's 12 pages of awesome sauce with workbooks so that you can actually make progress right now today. And then I have a 3-video training series called Better Business Habits. Because here's the thing. I don't just teach Instagram. The world knows me as this, as you do, but I am a business coach and I like to mentor and teach. And so my business training videos is the free opt-in to show you how to work smarter in your personal life, your business, and your finances. Okay. And so that is a separate email list that we're growing for that audience.
Okay.
You know how that works, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool.
Right.
And then following you, handles?
Yeah, so
we're going to put them on the screen, but for people listening.
We got the Zimmerman. What we don't have, we have the Instagram expert. What I think you and your team would really appreciate is my team account. So my team Instagram account is SBZ Team, because Morgan and Rachel, my 2 full-time employees, run that account. And it really showcases life of a small business team. Okay. And the things that you were asking me, like what kind of things do I share? You'll get a real good sense of the humor, the quirky aspects of our, like we'd rather go for a green juice than, well, sometimes a margarita, but mostly a green juice. But like the things that we enjoy and how we travel and virtually work, and it's fun. So that would be good for you guys for sure, and anyone that's trying to grow a small team or has a small team.
Love it. Guys, for everyone watching, everyone listening, we just spent time with a GOAT. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Yeah, thanks. That was fun. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever your favorite place to listen to podcasts might be. And if you really like this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.